Hi Leo, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I am going to be doing your June 2021 full moon reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowl sing as we see what the tarot has to say. How will Leo be affected by the June 2021 full moon? How will Leo be affected by the June 2021 full moon? How will Leo be affected by the June 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. How will Leo be affected by the June 2021 full moon? How will Leo be affected by the June 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides. Ooh, okay. There we go. Oh, that's intense. How will Leo be affected by the June 2021 full moon? How will Leo be affected by the June 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. How will Leo be affected by the June 2021 full moon? How will Leo be affected by the June 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Intense. This is going to be an intense time, Leo, just starting off. So at the bottom is our rooted energy. Left-hand side, our inner self. Middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what's being said here. We have the Nine of Pentacles, a wish being granted is what Spirit is saying instantaneously, but there's also a sense of taking in the prosperity. The Two of Wands, there's greater opportunities coming forward, and then judgment arising out of darkness, doubts, and fears. We have the Ten of Wands in our inner self, okay, overburdened. The Ace of Pentacles, a gift of prosperity. The Seven of Pentacles, patience. The world opening up to us, okay, or else opening up to the world. And then the Two of Pentacles. So finances is going to be something very much internally. Money, the ability to move forward the way that we need to, the way that we want to, is going to be very important during this time, as it is always. It's finding a new place in the world too. We have the Ten of Swords. We have the Death card, Scorpio energy, time frame October 23rd to November 21st. A dying away of the old self, a rebirth of the new. Then we have the Six of Cups, nostalgia, a wishing to go back to the way things once were, or having a negative thought in our head that kind of comes up often. I laugh because it's like it's from our childhood or it's from a traumatic experience that we've had years ago, and it comes up and it breaks our hearts all over again, and we might not even be aware of it. We have the Three of Cups, betrayal by somebody we trusted. The Page of Cups, love and healing. The Knight of Cups, so we're taking that gift. And then we have the Knight of Swords. We're very much on defense mode in the public arena. With the Knight of Cups, we're slowly and steadily moving towards what we love, what we desire. With the Knight of Swords, we want to move much more quickly. But we're taking this gift and we're seeing how our hearts and our minds come together at this time. So let's look at this moon. This moon is a complicated moon, and it affects Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn the most. So if you have these signs in your chart, just be mindful that these parts of your personality will be a bit more sensitive, a bit more overwhelmed, a little bit doubting during this time. Now, this full moon is in Capricorn, and as the moon always tells us, it says surrender to the divine because that is where our power is. Now, with the surrendering to the divine, we have the full moon in Capricorn coming up, which says the end to a tough cycle is approaching. Now, the end to a tough cycle sounds like celebration. It's absolutely going to be easy and joyous, and everything's going to be wonderful. Part of it is going to be that way, but the full moon in Capricorn with the sun in Cancer, it brings a time of conflict. It creates conflict just with those two signs being together. Cancer is all about the private life, home, and nurturing. And Capricorn is all about the public life, career, and responsibilities. So we're going to feel pulled in two very distinct directions. And that can be what also the Two of Wands is showing us. These two forms of passion in our lives. And as a fire sign energy, we're going to want to embrace the passion fully in both arenas, but it is going to be difficult. This brings the battle of conditional and unconditional love forward. So conditional love is Capricorn love. Not all the times, not saying this for all Capricorns, but there is a condition to Capricorn energy. It's like, are you upholding your responsibilities? Are you doing the right thing? Are you moving forward the way they deem you should be moving forward, or the way they want you to be moving forward? That's the Capricorn energy that's coming up. It's going to say, are you doing things correctly? And then you can be rewarded. But if you're not, you will also be punished for that. And then we have the unconditional love of Cancer that's saying, nurture yourself, take time out, step back, connect with the heart. We want to nurture that which is most sacred to us during this time, but we're going to see that we still want to go after our goals, achieve our goals, and obtain what we want. And this can be very hard because we're nurturing the sacred, but we're also being very distinct in what we desire, what we want, and what we need. So that can make it hard to nurture the sacred within us. With Cancer, Cancer calls us to our roots and to our homes. It's also, Cancer is the beginnings, it's the roots, it's what we value. Capricorn calls us to what we value through duty and public responsibilities and personal responsibilities. Capricorn is about the goals. During this time, something is building up within us, and actually something has been building up for quite some time. A release happens during this moon. A release happens that can make us doubt the way that we were moving forward, can show us what we deeply desire and what our heart deeply longs for. And this moon is demanding that we look at it. What we also need to know is that this is a very emotional time for us, and it brings profound realizations. The emotion might get to be too much. And our distinct reaction is going to be, I want to run away. I want to just stop. I want to turn back time. But here, we're going to find that it's an end of a tough cycle. A lot of realizations have been made. A lot of conclusions have been drawn. And during this time, we're going to see that inner self and the subconscious self, they're coming together. The conscious and the subconscious are coming together in a very powerful way. And we have to honor that. But we also have to honor the battle that we will be in during this time, and not get mad at ourselves and say, oh, just stiff up our lip, just push through it, just keep going, and don't connect. Don't connect to your heart. That can be the worst thing to do right now, Leo. This is a time where we want to connect to our heart, to our soul, to what we desire. And it leads us to the new moon. Now, the new moon is in Cancer, and the full moon is in Cancer. So this is going to come through rather intense, not the full moon. The sun is in Cancer. So it brings about a new start is coming, and it brings about beginnings, walking through one portal into another, and into another way of being, another desire, another understanding. And it says you and your loved ones are safe, which during this new moon, which is on the 10th of July, and the full moon is on the 24th of June. I don't know if I said that. On the 10th of July, we're going to see that being with our loved ones, knowing that we're safe, knowing that we're secure, embracing the heart and the emotions and the love for self and desires, that's going to be really important to us. If we hold true to that, we can hold true to the way that we want to move forward. If we don't hold true to that, we're going to see that we feel a little lost during this time, a little overwhelmed. It leads us then to the full moon on the 23rd of July, which is in Aquarius. And it says, show the world the real you. This is what the battle between the Capricorn and Cancer energy of this full moon on the 24th of June is building us to. It's building us to being able to show the world the real us. To say, this is me. I've worked out all the monsters, maybe not all completely and as well as I would like to, but I've worked them out honestly and openly. And now I can move forward towards what I want, what I desire, where I need to be, what I'm looking for. Yeah. And what I long for. And so the full moon in Aquarius can kind of put us out of our comfort zone, because it's saying, kind of lay yourself bare, open up your heart, see what you desire. Now let's see our chakra energy for this time. Leo. How will Leo be affected by the June 2021 full moon? How will Leo be affected by the June 2021 full moon? How will Leo be affected by the June 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Forgiveness. Ooh, that's intense. So forgiveness is the heart chakra. And the thing with forgiveness, it's not simply forgiving somebody else. It is opening up our hearts and our souls and ourselves and saying, I forgive me. I forgive me for being naive. I forgive me for being overly trusting. I forgive me for being too young to stop it. I forgive me for being blind to what was going on. I forgive me. And what we do here, I forgive me for being born this way. I forgive me for things that were completely out of my control, but yet still wounded my heart. With the heart chakra, we open up ourselves. We open up what we desire. And with forgiveness, we start to see where it is that we need to stand and what it is that we need to embrace within our hearts, within ourselves, things that kind of are triggering in the outside world. And we'll be like, I don't know why this time, this time frame makes me super upset. Well, did we lose somebody during this time frame? Is it a past life trauma coming up? Was there a hardship from childhood coming forward? I don't know why people saying these certain things makes me angry. Well, is it bringing back lectures that you got from somebody else, or the contingency of I'll love you if type of thing? What is holding our hearts back? And what is denying us? It's rather benevolent to forgive somebody else. We can feel magnanimous and very proud of ourselves. I forgave this person. That's awesome. And that's really good. It really is awesome. But to look at ourselves and to say, I forgive me for not knowing better, for being naive, for being overwhelmed, for being hurt, for letting the pain in and being totally blindsided. That's freeing. Because it takes the past and it says, you know what, you happened. It takes the future and says, you know what, you're coming and I can't stop you. But it makes us own the right now. And it moves us to the energy we need to be mindful of. What is the energy that Leo needs to be mindful of June 2021 full moon? What is the energy that Leo needs to be mindful of in June 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. It's the Prince of Cups. It's what's guiding our heart, because our heart also has the Prince of Cups in it, the Knight of Cups. In this deck, the Druidcraft deck, it's the Prince of Cups. We need to be mindful that because this is such an emotional time, and because such profound revelations come, that our emotions just don't bleed out all over the place. We need to be mindful of our emotional goals, of what we desire, of what we not want, of what our heart wants, of where our soul wants to be. And we have to not let it kind of be like a runaway train during this time. And we're going to find ourselves very drawn to people who let their emotions be like a runaway train. We might even want to be the steadying force in their lives, the grounding force that says, you can do this, look at this way, look at that way, open up your mind, open up your soul, things are coming. We might find ourselves saying, that's it. That's what we're drawn to. Like, that's what I can do. But we need to let people make their own mistakes and move forward in their own truths and their own desires, and not be swept away in their chaos. So that's going to be something that's going to be a bit hard for us during this time. Nine of Pentacles at our root, prosperity and success and bounty. It's celebrating how far we've come. Even if we're dog dead tired and, taking off our shoes is just so exhausting. What we need to do is we need to look at what we're building for and building towards. There's also moments that we need to celebrate, things that we need to rejoice in, to be able to fully embrace what we want and what we desire and where it is that we need to be. So at this time, there's a level of success that we're not going to be fully aware of. But at our root, it's going to be a very powerful part of who we are. So having that prosperity, having that bounty, having that abundance is going to be key. With the Two of Wands, we're looking at a way forward. During this time where we have the conflict of things that are conditional and things that are unconditional, we can get confused of how we want to move forward, of where it is that we want to be. Can I open my soul to this? Can I open my heart to this? Do I know what I want? Do I not know what I want? There's going to be a lot of second guessing coming. What we're doing here with the Two of Wands is we're looking at the expanse and realizing there is more here than meets the eye. And because there is more than we realized coming forward, we can embrace that passion, that realization with openness and honesty and desire, and walk through the door to something more. Because we're starting to see ourselves in a greater world. We're starting to see, oh, well, maybe this is where I need to stand. Maybe this place that I never dreamt of before, this way that I thought was ridiculous, maybe this is what I need to open my heart to. And maybe this is where I need to walk forward in. And it brings us then to judgment. It brings us to stepping out of the box. It brings us to a greater realization, a greater understanding, and a greater power. With judgment, we're going to be hearing our angels call us during this time. And we can see that, with the world. We can see that coming forward in ourselves, where there's a sense of there's more here than meets the eye. What am I not seeing? And there's going to be that underlying sense during this time frame of, and with this moon, that there's more here that I am not seeing. There's a greater power here that I'm not fully understanding. How do I move forward? Where is it that I want to be? What do I desire? What do I long for? And so we're going to start to see ourselves breaking barriers. We're going to start to see ourselves solving problems and answering internal riddles and really moving towards something more. Now, with our inner self, we tend to take on too much, and we have to be very mindful of that. I take on too much because that's just my personality. I'm a people pleaser. I'm very agreeable within my personality. So I think, I can do that. I can do that. I can do that. And then it just becomes so much that the only thing I'm looking at is the dirt on my shoes. We have to be mindful of that it doesn't become so much that it breaks us, because it's going to be very easy for that to happen. It's going to be very easy for us to look at what we desire, look at what we want, look at what we need, look at everything around us and say, I got this. And it's going to be very much a fire sign energy. It's a fire sign energy way of doing things. It's like, I got this, I can handle this, let's keep going. The initial bursts will be great, but then it'll start to fizzle out and things will start to be overwhelming. People need to carry their own lessons. People need to see what they desire, what they want, what they need. And if that doesn't come, if we're always swooping in like superheroes to save them, and it doesn't come either if we don't swoop in like a superhero and start to save ourselves, start to say, there's more here than meets the eye, start to say, you know what, maybe this goal isn't what I want. Maybe this dream is for other people, but it's not for me. How do I move towards what I desire, what I love, what I need, what I want, where I want to be within my life? And it brings us then to the Ace of Pentacles. It brings us to God's source spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, handing us a gift of prosperity, success, bounty, and abundance. All of a sudden, when we relieve ourselves of this weight, we take it off our shoulders. We make a barn fire with it. We make a campfire with it. We let ourselves start to express what we want instead of being weighed down by endless responsibilities. We then move to the Ace of Pentacles, and that's bounty and success. That's a gift coming in. That's a door being opened. That's new understanding coming forward. And it's like, oh, okay, I can do this. Now the question is, do we take that gift? Because that gift comes from the hardworking aspect of the Capricorn full moon. Now the gift that comes in the public arena with the Ace of Cups, we definitely take, because we have the Knight of Cups right here. And that's the aspect of the sun in Cancer. Cancer is a water sign energy. Capricorn is an earth sign energy. In our inner self, we're going to feel the effects of Capricorn a bit more because we have a whole bunch of pentacles. This is the Seven of Pentacles. Be patient. Be patient because it's not going to happen on your time. It's going to happen on divine time. And this is a time in our lives where we need to step back. We need to look at what we want, what we desire, what we need, what we long for, where we want to be, and say, okay, I don't have all the answers. Sometimes I don't even have the questions. How will this move forward? What is it that I desire? What is it that I long for? Where is it that I want to go? How is it that I'm going to get there? Excuse me. And we let things grow. We don't say, oh, it's close enough. The fruit is almost right. It'll be just fine. We let things grow on their own. We let things develop. That's going to be hard for our inner selves. And I'm just going to take a sip of water. It moves us then to the world. If we step back and stop trying to force things, we are going to start to see that the world is opening to us in a way that wasn't in our realm of seeing before. The world can be overwhelming, but it's also victorious. It's like, how do I move forward towards what I love, what I want, what I desire, what I need? How do I embrace my success, my hope, and my joy? The world is celebration. The world is bounty. The world is bigger than we ever realized, but it's also finding our little niche within the world and making our little world meaningful. It's also having patience with ourselves as we discover this and as we relieve ourselves from the endless weight of expectation and say, there's passion and there's beauty here. My world does not have to incorporate or encompass millions of people. It can simply be me and a small group. It can simply be a small sense of, not a small sense, but not having that tidal wave effect. But when we align ourselves with why we're here, when we align ourselves with what makes our hearts happy, that radiates outward and affects others in a very positive way. And so if we align ourselves with that during this time, we can start to see that our world might not be the whole entire world, billions of people, but it starts to become an intense stepping forward into our love and into what we want. And then we have the Two of Pentacles coming. How do we balance that? How do we balance ourselves moving forward within our world? How do we balance ourselves obtaining what we desire, looking at things more openly and honestly? How do we embrace our infinity when at times we're not balanced ourselves? We're going to have to be balanced. We're going to have to say, this is the balance that I need within my life. This is the harmony that I want. These are the lines that can't be crossed. This is what I love. This is what I want. This is what I need. And we have to calm our emotions because as we're balancing everything that needs to be done, as we're balancing all our external responsibilities, we're going to feel like our internal responsibilities are being forgotten. And this is a time where we need to look at what we desire, what we want, and what we need, and plant ourselves firmly in the ground and say, but I matter. But this is purposeful. This is me. And that's going to help us. We can also talk to somebody. Why do I feel so chaotic? Why do I feel so out of control? We can take calms, they're pills, they're literally called calms, herbs, to help us calm down, or GABA, or whatever it is that we need to be able to start to center ourselves. We can see a homeopathy. We can start homeopathy or see a homeopathic medicine person when it comes to being able to balance ourselves, being able to harmonize ourselves. I'm also a huge fan of traditional Chinese medicine. So if you need the external factors, definitely find the external factors that work for you. It could be exercise. It could be, homeopathy. It could be a whole myriad of things that start to make us feel like we're balancing, start to make us feel like we're coming together. Also, just a side note that Spirit's saying for me to share, if you have a bad stomach, okay, try taking vitamins that you don't swallow, that just melt in your mouth, because your body can absorb those better. So that might be just a message for one person, but if you start to have those nutrients come into your body, and if you start to balance your body, you're going to start to see yourself gaining energy and gaining focus and gaining power. This leads us to the Ten of Swords in the public arena. So as we're gaining power, what we're going to see is that people want to see us fall and fail. Emotionally, it can feel like every time we turn around, we're being stabbed in the back. It's heartbreak, it's pain, it's disappointment, it's upset, it's upheaval. And what we have to do here is know that this is the darkness before the dawn. It's very interesting because this is the minor arcana death card for me. And then you have the major arcana death card. So during this time, Leo, what we have is a transformation, emotional transformation that has to do with looking at things quite openly and honestly in a practical matter, which is going to appeal to us in one way, but then also being open and honest with ourselves in an emotional manner. And we're going to see things transforming. We're going to see ourselves transforming. We're going to see that each lesson that we learned over a decade, that starts to become the power that cuts away hurt and pain and disappointment. They're no longer the weapons used to wound us. They're the weapons used by us that have made us stronger, that have made us better, that have made us more focused, that have given us a powerful voice. And with the death card, this dying away of who we used to be, and the embrace of who we are, it's going to be a bit sad. It always is. It's like, oh, well, I kind of liked who I once was, or, oh, this didn't work out the way that I thought it would. And so if we're open and honest with ourselves during this time, we're going to see the transformation is intense. We're going to see that there is power to knowing how things are changing, or that we are changing. And we rise. But first we have to have those dark moments of, oh, it's not the same. And it may never be the same again. To understand that, to accept that, can be a bit devastating. So do be mindful of this during this time, because it does bring us to a place emotionally where we're astoundingly nostalgic. Now, it can be that the hurtful words of the past start coming forward. It can be that we, realize, oh my gosh, my caregiver's words are playing through my head. My teacher's words are playing through my head. These were said when I was small, but they still have such great impact. Now, it can also be that we want to go back to the way things once were. It doesn't have to be when we were a child, though for most of us it is going to be. It can also be when we first felt our freedom, we first felt our hopes, our dreams, our power, our harmony of being. Here's the thing with the past. The past is pain. As beautiful as it is, because it can never be relived. It's not saying that remembering people that we've lost is simply pain, because sometimes it is the most beautiful thing possible, but it is painful. It is painful to know that there is always an ending, as there is a beginning. And so to come to this understanding, our hearts will seem a bit heavier during this time than we want them to be, a bit more intense than we thought they were ever going to be. And that's because we are transforming, and we are realizing it does not matter how much money you have, or power you have, or your status. Transformation comes for everyone. And sometimes we get so swept into it and swept away by it that it almost feels like transformation has us. It moves us then to the Three of Cups. Now, the Three of Cups, for me, is always those people that were supposed to be able to celebrate us, that we're supposed to be there. Like, we trusted them, they're cute, they're happy. I mean, look at these little guys right here. But one is off doing its own thing. And so, not everybody can be trusted. And that's a hard lesson to be learned, especially people that we thought were our greatest of friends. There can be a level of being secretive, there we go, around us during this time. We do have to be mindful of that. Because of the transformation of the heart, because of the weight that we carry with everything that we want, our passion, our desires, our hopes, and our dreams, and everything for everybody else, we are going to find that it's going to be very easy to look at things and think, I can't. Remember that this person said I wasn't any good at it. Remember this, remember that failure, remember that upset, remember. And this is a time where we need to step back. And we need to say, I see you. I see you hurt and pain and disappointment. I see you anger and upset and despair. I see you negative words, and I see you people who couldn't stand in my corner, couldn't love me, couldn't be by my side. And I honor that because I honor myself and every stage of my journey and every heartbreak I've been through. And then it leads us to the Ace of Cups. It leads us to God, Source, Spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, handing us a gift of love and of healing, of emotional understanding, of passion, of power, of insight. It washes away the chaos, but it also brings up the swamp water. It brings up the icky, putrefying aspects of us that we want to be released. The emotions that have no benefit and will never have any benefit. And to be able to feel them washing away, to know that, yes, this will make me more sensitive. And especially in the public arena, we're going to be ready to be betrayed. We're going to be ready to have things fall apart. We're going to think, I need my armor on. I need to be defending myself. This is because of the vulnerability that we feel. To be able to feel this, to be able to understand it, to be able to accept it, and to be able to let the healing work through us and work with us is going to be a game changer. It leads us then to the Knight of Cups. It leads us to being a defender of our heart. It also leads us to connecting emotionally with people, being able to see things at a greater level, with greater realization. The Knight of Cups fights for what they love, yes, but also honors what they love, what they desire. We're going to find that during this time, as much as we can be mistrusting of people, we can find that people start to come in to our lives. People start to, move us forward in a certain way. And it's like, oh, that's it, right? That's the missing link. That's the passion. That's the beauty that I was longing for. And it doesn't have to be that the person comes into our lives in a physical way. It can be through a piece of literature. It can be through music. It can be through art in any of its forms. It can be through a conversation that we have with somebody that really leads us to open up our eyes. It brings us to think more. It could be through television. And then it brings us to the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords, air sign energy. This is the mind. The mind and the heart are coming together and fighting together during this time, that we can feel them going in different directions at points, like one's going down, one's going up. So we can feel pulled, but they're both going in the same direction overall. They're both heading on the same course. During this time, we need to embrace mentally what we want, what we desire, and what we need. We need to look at things and be a bit swift. When it comes to making decisions during this time, we might be called upon to think on our feet a lot, and we're going to need to step back and embrace our emotions and lead with our emotions for ourselves. But in making the bigger decisions, people are going to want us to act relatively quickly, and we're going to have to. So do be mindful of that during this time. Let's look at what the moon has to say for herself. How will Leo be affected by the June 2021 full moon? How will Leo be affected by the June 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. How will Leo be affected by the June 2021 full moon? How will Leo be affected by the June 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. So at our root is balance, and conclusions are within reach. Our inner self, abundance, step out of your comfort zone. Our heart, blooming, prosperity lies ahead. And then our public arena, nourishment, confidence is your key to success. And that's the new moon in Leo right here. So that's very powerful. We're going to be very much ourselves in the public arena, even though we're going to be sensitive, even though we're going to be a bit overwhelmed, even though we feel like we have to have our armor on, we're still going to be very intrinsically us. So that's going to be beautiful. The moon is calling us for balance at our roots. Balance as we rise out of the darkness, balance as we look at the roads ahead. The conclusions are within reach. Stepping back and being able to enjoy where we stand, enjoy what we want, enjoy the vision of the future that we have, but also what we have accomplished in the here and now. And even though some might be saying, Dane, no, I haven't accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. This is terrible. Being able to find just one thing that we can be thankful for, just one thing that brings us a bit of joy, that's going to start to change the game. Conclusions are within reach because we're changing our mindset. We're changing what we're looking at. We're rising to a new power and into a new place and finding ourselves balancing what we want in life, not what everybody else wants. There's no quick fix. There's no like one size fits all type of deal here. It's balancing what we want externally and what we want internally, and being able to find that harmonizing power within us. It leads us to abundance in our inner selves. As we step out of our comfort zone, as we release so much negativity that we are carrying, as we are patient with the abundance that is coming, as we look at and balance ourselves, as we try to balance everything else, we step out of our comfort zone and into who we are more and more during this moon. And it brings us to a blossoming. Out of decay comes this new blossom, comes this new beauty, this new sense of understanding. And prosperity lies ahead. There's a road that we are walking down. There's a bounty that is coming that is going to kind of boggle our minds. It's like, oh, can I have this? Like, can I move forward this way? Can I do this? And it can be something so simple as, I had a friend and he was a handyman, and his wife advertised him in the local thing online. I don't remember what it was. And all of a sudden he was having more calls than he could even handle. And it was just from that one thing that he thought was going to be nothing. He was a little annoyed that his wife had done it. He was like, oh my gosh. And then all of a sudden it just exploded his world. So we can find things like that happening during this time. The sense of, oh my gosh, I didn't realize this door could open this way. Nourishment of what we desire, nourishment of what we want, nourishment of the healing energy, the healing heart that is a part of us. As confidence, the confidence of Leo, this is the new moon in Leo, shines through. Confidence is our key to success. Having this confidence, having this assurity within our hearts, within our souls, within ourselves, sets us apart. People will be like, I don't know why I trust you, but it's going to be that confidence that you radiate. It's going to be that way that you can kind of pull people in. Our subconscious chakra message is rebirth. This is the Earth Star chakra. This is our tether to this world. This is the dying away of the old self, the rebirth of the new. Once again, at our hearts, the energy right here, subconsciously, the chakra energy, all about rebirth. And our emotional state is all about rebirth. A release of an old and an embrace of a new. A transformation. Our subconscious energy to be mindful of is the Princess of Cups. We have to be very, very mindful during this time not to fall into the chaos of our emotions, not to fall into also the chaos of other people's emotions. The princesses, when they come as warnings, they really make me think of princesses. Like, don't be a princess. Like, yeah, seriously. And people during this time, we can be very drawn to people who are a bit of drama queens, who are a bit just too much. And we're going to find ourselves drawn that way. And it's like, no, should I be? No, I should step back, because we're going to see it as, I can solve that problem. I can help them. I can, just look at it this way, look at it that way. I can really help you out. But they don't want to help. They don't. They just want to kind of drain your energy and then move forward. Or they just want to live in that chaos and pull other people into that chaos with them. Our subconscious rooted self is the King of Swords. At our root, we have to be a bit logical. We have to be, at times, even a bit cold. To say, what are the facts? What is it that I desire? What is it that I want? What is it that I need? Cutting through doubts and fears. The King of Swords is also an expert. He becomes the king of the craft of using his sword. Because of the craft of using a sword. Because he has put in the time and the effort. We are going to see the things that we put our time and effort into start paying off. And that's going to be powerful for us. It's going to be powerful to claim our space, to claim our throne, to be the warrior king. Our subconscious inner self is the Wheel of Fortune. Everything is changing. We have now 2 tens within the inner self. 10 is a number of completion, but it's a number of change. So here we have things changing. We have things coming to a head, deeper realizations. We're entering into a new season. And the season that we enter into, we might not be as comfortable in. It could be a season of summer. It could be a season of winter, spring, fall. To be able to have this transformation, to be able to see things changing and growing and becoming. And it can be that the change that we're witnessing has to very much do with the undeniable transformation of our hearts. And in our inner self, we're going through this transformation, and it's a bit painful, it's a bit difficult. It's kind of like a birth. A birth is not easy, but it brings forth something amazing. And it brings us then to our subconscious inner self. Well, emotional self. And that's the Empress. After all the death and rebirth, right? We have the pregnant Empress, crowned by the stars, crowned by the cosmos. Now we are giving birth to, we are creating something brilliant. The waters are coming forward after the pain and the hardship and the disappointment and the anger and the transformation through the despair. There comes something beautiful. And we are guided towards something beautiful. Claim it. Our subconscious public arena is the Three of Swords. Heartbreak, pain, and disappointment. We have the repeat of the number 3. So with the Three of Cups and the Three of Swords, that is showing us that divinity is with us. As much as we have love and joy coming forward, we cannot fully heal from the Ace of Cups if we don't recognize the swords that have bound us, the swords that have tried to destroy us, the heartbreak that we carry around, the pain that is an intrinsic part of us. Name it. And if we name it, we start to take away some of its power. It doesn't become the almighty boogeyman that lives in the closet. Our subconscious Luna message is release and expect powerful change. Because when we release the chaos that is holding us back, when we release our preconceived expectations, the change comes forward. And by embracing this release, we will expect powerful change. We can expect things to start moving forward in a way that is just so out of our realm of understanding that it seems like magic. It seems like, oh, wow, what the heck is going on here? And it's not simply by saying, okay, I'm going to release this and then I expect powerful change to happen. No, it's like as we are transformed just by the power of this moon, the power of the decisions that we're making, the power of the way that we are orchestrating our life, we find the darkness lifted off of us. We find the shroud coming off, and we find ourselves being able to rejoice, being able to embrace, being able to be. And that leads us to knowing that change is coming. And the change will not be small, it will not be quiet, it will be powerful, and it will be earth-shaking. All right, Leo, I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power of this moon. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Leo. And may you have a blessed moon.